And at the end of the day, when it comes to this stupid storyline, first of all, y'all gonna stop pimping out y'all marriage for this stupid show. Secondly, I doubt Tisha would have cheated on Marsau. Okay, I really, really doubt it. If that's true, same thing. We would have got the receipts, just like we would have got the true receipts if Marsau has really cheated on Tisha. We've only gotten allegations. So, yeah, Marsau, if maybe now you know how Tisha will feel. Okay, so I really don't feel bad for you. Yeah. Hey everybody, welcome back to the Brandy Yvonne channel. Of course, I'm your girl, Brandy Yvonne. Here on my channel, we do fun reviews, recaps, and discussions of all of our favorite shows, y'all. This video, we are talking on Love and Marriage Huntsville Season 6, Episode 29. That's too many damn episodes. Titled, Feeling Protected and Using Protection. Let me scoot in a little bit. Before we get into it, y'all, please don't forget to hit that thumbs up button. Please continue to subscribe to the channel. Y'all been subscribing. I appreciate it. We're trying to hit these milestones. We're trying to grow this channel, so I definitely appreciate your support. Comment down below. Let me know what you thought of the episode, and share the videos where you like to share your content. I know I'm a day late. Last night, I did tell y'all last night I had to go to a gala, Christmas gala. Well, it was an anniversary gala for my church's 30th year anniversary. We had a really, really good time. We was dancing. We was doing a wobble. Okay. I had my hair split like I wanted. So I meant to post pictures in my community tab. So I'll do it after I record this video. Let me know what y'all thought of the overall episode tonight. I'll be glad when we wrap this season up. I did see Love and Marriage DC finally has a release date. I think it's either January 12th or January 18th, whatever that Saturday is. Anyway, so we definitely will review Love and Marriage DC. Let me know, do y'all watch Love and Marriage DC? I know everybody don't watch all the Love and Marriage franchise. Anyway, but let's focus on Love and Marriage Huntsville and wrap it up. Let me know what y'all thought of the episode. I thought the episode was good. I felt like everyone agreed to show up to work today for this particular episode in Houston. I also felt like production was really doing the most, and we'll get into that. So, episode picks up with everybody getting ready to come down to the table for dinner. Chris is coming to Keke, Tisha, Martell, Maurice come for dinner. So they all come for dinner. Martell got his shades on. Okay. In the house, I don't know why. So, anywho, they all go sit down for dinner. Okay. And so then Stormi and Courtney come up the stairs at the same time. So they finally arrived. They got baby Chess in tow. I was like, what a baby there, but he is really cute. They said that they missed their flight and the babysitter missed their connecting flight, and they didn't, Stormi told her she didn't really want to come anyway. She all discombobulated, she tired, and Courtney was like, oh, but we still showed up. I mean, y'all could have stayed home, really. Y'all could have stayed home. But anyway, I'm glad y'all came. So everybody was like, oh, hey, y'all finally made it. Okay. So they sit down. So I guess Marsau noticed that Chris fixed Nell's plate. So Marsau was like, oh, Chris fixed your whole plate? And she was like, he didn't fix my plate. And so then everybody's like, well, what's wrong if if he fixes her plate? And then he's like, oh, nothing. I was just surprised. You know how Marsau is. And so they were like, Mel says, have you ever fixed Tisha's plate before? And so he said, oh, yeah, occasionally when she was sick. And so Maurice is making jokes over there talking about, oh, like, no, he ain't never did that. And so then Maurice is like, I've never fixed plates either. And so Marsau goes, buddy, let me tell you, talking to his brother Maurice, let me tell you, I thought I was the worst brother. But the things you said. So then what he was referring to is the interview that Maurice did with Carlos King, which we're all tired of and disgusted about. And so they played clips of that. Once again, I'm tired of us beating that with a dead horse. But here we go. Let's continue to embarrass Kimmy. So Maurice was saying, like, the joke went wrong. He was trying to, basically, he was trying to make a joke about Carlos being messy, but the joke went left. I don't think that's all you were trying to do. But that's a good cover up. Mel said the issue would be do you really feel that way? Like, is that how you feel in your heart? Is that how you feel? So Maurice says he honestly does, apologize to Kimmy for saying that. He wish she could take it back. And so then Tisha's all clapping for him, like, yeah, there we go. And I'm like, girl, don't clap for him. He don't deserve a clap. And then the confessional, Maurice and Kimmy are there together, and Maurice is saying, I honestly wish I could push the delete button and rewind. And I wish I had never even did the interview and said anything and all the stuff surrounding that. And my thing is, Maurice, I will believe that, but however, later on, however many weeks later after the Carlos King interview, you and Kimmy then go down to the TGIF on Fox Soul with Al Reynolds, Funky Dineva, and Claudia Jordan, where you then double down on what you said, and Claudia Jordan especially tried to give you a chance to rephrase what you said and take it back and word it in a better way, and you would not reword it in a better way. She kept trying to throw you a lifesaver, and you would not take it. So you meant every word that you said, okay? So anywho, moving on from that conversation, right? So then Miss Nell, I guess, noticed, well, Kimmy did say, you know, she felt like he disrespected her, the conversation. She didn't like the conversation. Her issue was that Maurice took too long to correct the issue. Like, he didn't see what he did. It took him too long to figure it out. Because Maurice played all day. So anywho, somehow the conversation switches gears. And Miss Nell points out, like, oh, what's that ring on your finger, Martell? She said, is that your wedding ring? And so he would never say where the ring came from. And so everybody's like, is that your wedding ring? Is that your wedding ring? And so they asked Mel, like, is that his wedding band? And so she was like, I don't know. She ain't looking down the table over there at him, because she ain't looking that way. So everybody's like going in an uproar, and she was, and then I guess Maurice made a joke about, you know, maybe he's hoping they can get back together. And so then Miss Nell's like, oh, you got wishful thinking. You think y'all gonna get back together? Like, what? So then everybody's talking, cross-talking, talking about Martell, Mel. Marsau shut that down real quick. He said, time out, time out, time out. He said, that's an off note. We're not doing that conversation. Nope, we're not doing that. That's an off one. We're not doing that. He said, no. He said, that is Martell Holt and Melody Rogers. We not doing that today, okay? And so then I said, look at Marsau shutting that down. So then Mel looked at him and she was smiling. She's like, thank you. And so I found that interesting that Marsau would shut that conversation down. I found that very interesting. But maybe he's trying to, like, follow their rules of, like, you know, because how Carlos went down there and made them play nicely. So maybe that's why he did that. And he needed to. So Tisha's like, oh, he finally learned his lesson. Okay, so now they're not talking about that. So anywho, then we see Stormi and Courtney jump back up from eating with the baby. And they said, oh, they got to go because the babysitter is at the airport. So I guess they got to go pick up the babysitter. So Tisha's like, oh, did y'all get your own place to stay? Y'all staying here? They got their own place. They said they want to share a bathroom with Martell or whoever. They rather have their own place. Which I figured Stormi would get her own place. And plus, they got the baby there. Which I was like, is the baby going to be at the house? Like, well, how y'all going to do anything? So it makes sense they brought their babysitter or bringing the babysitter. Well, she came. She was at the airport. And the babysitter, I guess, is going to stay at the house with the baby while they do the activities. Which is a good idea, I guess. So anywho, they're leaving. Marsau turns to Courtney and says, hey, do you want me to keep the baby for you? And so then he was like, man, hell no, you ain't watch your own kids. And so then they were like, and Miss Nell said, Marsau ain't gonna watch the baby. And so, you know, they leaving out. And so Chris says, you sure you don't want Marsau to watch the baby for you? And so then Courtney again says, hell no, he ain't even watch his own kids. And so then everyone's laughing and talking. And so then production does this, like, weird montage, like the show. I guess Marsau is tripping because they keep saying stuff about the baby and they showing everybody laughing and they replaying what Tisha said and Marsau's looking crazy. And then he said, why everybody keep talking about me and the baby? Now, mind you, everybody ain't talking about you and the baby. You the one brought up the stupid joke, sir. So that's why I said production was doing a lot of producing. So anywho, they're like, what? Tisha, she's like, Tisha, did you they'll tell everybody about the conversation we had earlier. And so then she's like, what does that conversation have to do with anything we're talking about right now? Like, it had no relevance. Like, you was trying to figure out how to bring it up. So, it was very much giving, let me figure out how to bring this conversation up. So then, Tisha then explains to everybody what happened, how she was feeling sick, similar symptoms to when she was pregnant before. So she took a pregnancy test and it came back negative, and that was it. So then Mel was like, okay, so what's wrong with that? And so then Marsau was like, because I had a vasectomy. And so Tisha again is saying, like, okay, there's a chance that vasectomies don't work. And so Kimmy was like, you know, Tisha, like, he had a vasectomy. So, of course, like, no, yeah, Kimmy said, Tisha, he had a vasectomy. So, of course, you know, it's a possibility that, you know, he would think that way if he had a vasectomy, right? So then in the confessional, Kimmy said physiologically, from a medical perspective, because y'all know she's a nurse, or she was. And so she said that, it's 99.9% chance that, she was not pregnant if he had a vasectomy. However, there's been a lot of rumors in the streets and the community of Huntsville about Marcel cheating. So she said, just the way that Tisha has trusted him, she gonna have to go and trust Tisha. Like, basically, now the shoe's on the other foot kind of thing. So Kimmy was smirking about that in the confessional, which I agree. Like, okay, the way she be trusting you, you need to be trusting her. So, and this conversation continues throughout the whole darn episode. So anywho, back at the table, Tisha was like, okay, but you're going to immediately jump to conclusions and think that I cheated instead of, thinking that it's a possibility that the vasectomy didn't take. And so she's like, you don't trust me? He's like, I trust science a little bit more. And so Mel said, honey, he trusts you just more as he trusts himself. That's all, baby. And so I don't know why that was funny to me. So then she was like, okay, so, and then Maurice over there making comments like, so you trust science more than your wife. I was like, Maurice, you need to be quiet, sir. You need to be quiet. So anywho, everybody's at the table laughing and talking about it. And so Tisha's like, I've never given you reason not to trust me. And then Marcel says, taking the pregnancy test is a reason not to trust me. So the guys are all cracking up. And so she was like, I have trusted you. I have, done all this for you. Like, how could you not trust me? And so she's like, all the things I hear, like, I have blindly trusted you. You have not blindly trusting me. And so Marcel was like, I can smile through some stuff because this is not how I feel right now. I was having vertigo earlier when I was laying down talking about this. Boy, you don't know vertigo. So anyway, Mel then says, okay, no, we're not about to do this. She took the pregnancy test. It was negative. It's a percentage she could have been pregnant. That's it. You're not about to make this into a thing. And I like that Mel did stick up for Tisha. Okay, so then they still having this discussion going round and round. And, Tisha's like, okay, so you're going to trust science more than you trust me. You're not going to trust in me. She's like, okay, that's fine. You're not going to trust in me. So then Mel says, okay, but how are you not going to trust in her after all the times that she trusted in you through a back photo, through you not answering questions straightforwardly when you're asking about cheating? I was like, oh, y'all better bring up all the past. So then production plays all these clips of, different times when, cheating allegation, all the episodes we didn't had about the cheating allegations against Marcel, Miss Wanda questioning him about bringing the chocolate in the bottle to Mel and not Martell, and the back picture, and he talking about he ain't got no receipts, and Tisha confronting him about the 20 women's and all that, right? Good old times in the show, right? So, Tisha's like, okay, well, now I'm seeing things different because I've been keep trusting you and trusting you at your word, but you're not trusting me. And so Marcel's thing is like, I'm going to believe in science. Like, it's more of a possibility that the vasectomy worked than, basically he feels like it's more of a possibility that it had to be you cheated than the vasectomy not working is what he believes. Okay, and so then they're like, okay, Kim's like, okay, but the moment is over. Like, it's over. And he was like, no, it's not. Like, what do you want me? How am I supposed to sit here and feel? So then the ladies are like, we tired of this. Like, goodbye, Marcel. So Miss Nell said, y'all go finish this conversation with ladies. We about to go do something else. So then we see the ladies down to the hot tub. Miss Nell, Kimmy, Letitia, and Mel. So Mel comes with her stunner shades on. And Tisha's like, oh, you look like Martell with them shades on. And so Mel's like, girl, what? So then she's like, yeah, because Martell had on shades earlier. And she's like, and it's dark outside. So Mel in her confessional said that she understands why Tisha would compare her to Martell just because she got on sunglasses. She always wears her sunglasses when she go in the pool and the hot tubs. And she don't understand why everybody want to just continue to try to put them together. Yeah, Martell was wearing shades in the house. Like, it's not that deep, Tisha. Anywho, so the girls all sit down, and Mel is feeling herself, because this is a new Mel, okay? This is a whole new Mel we got before, like, this is not seasons 1 through 3 Mel, right? So, anywho, or I'll say seasons 1 through 2, really. So Mel, she feeling herself in a hot tub. She taking pictures. They was like, this girl, she's just, she obsessed with herself. She loving herself. And she was like, yeah, I couldn't, when I be taking my trips, this is what I do, And she said she didn't really go out much when she was married. And She said one thing, her biggest regrets is being married to somebody all those years and never once getting an orgasm. I was like, damn. So then she said all that time, that was a tragic, that was wrong. And that is wrong. Damn. So they was like, girl, no, you lying. And so Ms. Nell was like, no, you being funny, huh? And she was like, no, that's for real. And so Tisha's like, you never told him, girl, like, what's your spots, what's your angles? And she was like, yeah, I said, like, to have, what did she say? She said, I like it when he talked dirty to me. I don't know why that was funny when she said that to me. I guess because Mel is not a sexual person. She doesn't talk that way, so it just sounds funny when she said it. So, anywho, so they played the clip from season 1 when Mel had that swoop. Oh my God, Mel looks her age now, because before she was looking like she was in her 50s, okay, 60s. So they played the clip with, her and Martell arguing about their sex life, and she said, talking dirty, he said he wasn't going to do it. So she's like, well, y'all seen when I told, him and the whole world that I like to someone to talk dirty to me. That's what she said in the scene, right? And like I said, they played the clip. And so Tisha gonna say, oh, well, that's not gonna make you have an orgasm. But Mel's like, well, you can't tell me what's gonna make me have an orgasm. And Kim's like, it depends on, whatever the connection is for you, is it gonna make you get off? Everybody is different, what's gonna make them get off. So Tisha's like, oh, well, girl, I feel sorry for you then. And so Mel's like, well, sex is not the forefront for our marriage. It's not the forefront for me. And she said, now, it's at the forefront for Maurice, but it's not the forefront for me. I feel like Mel was getting her get back with Kimmy for what she said about the name thing and the nail salon. So Kimmy and her confessional going to stand 10 toes down for Maurice once again, talking about, oh, I feel like that interview now has people thinking that Maurice just needs sex all the time and like he can't function throughout his day without having sex, and that's far from the truth. Girl, that's what he was giving when he said what he said in the interview. Like, girl. And so then Kimmy talked about the interview in that moment and how she hated that he said that. She felt very unprotected. And then there was other things in the interview. She said he sounded very crass, and there was other things in the interview that made her feel not protected. She said he mentioned something about, he has his, the mother of his child, what's her name? Kiawa? I can't never say that girl's name. Kiwa. I think that's her name. And then, his son, little Maurice, so he has to protect them. And she's like, okay, but what about me? You never said you had to protect me, your wife, who you plan to be with for the rest of your life. And I'm like, Kimmy, he has done this from day one. And she said, yeah, when Maurice does these things like that, he has such a sweet spirit. So when he does these things, she's kind of thrown off. And I'm like, girl, he's been doing these things from jump. He just hit it very well. Because there's a lot of us who didn't see Maurice as so bad. We saw Marsau because he was pretty much out there, but we thought Maurice was the good one until recently. But I've always seen little cracks in Maurice as well. Okay, but now it's like, oh, okay, he wasn't so good. But yeah, Maurice, this ain't nothing new, especially with the Kiowa stuff, that's her name, Kiowa stuff. I definitely never agree with Maurice with that stuff, the way he would want Kimmy and her to speak, and he never would shut down the rumors of her being a side chick and all that. I didn't like none of that. So, anywho, Mel says that, she can relate to Kimmy not feeling protected because there was many years in her marriage she didn't feel protected. So she's like, welcome to the club, girl, because that's how I felt. I was like, oh my gosh. Okay, so anywho, Tisha said in the commercial, marriage takes two people and you got to feel protected. You got to have trust. And the way Marcel's acting, alleging that she could have cheated, is making her really rethink some things. And so then she talks about it in a moment with the ladies. And Miss Nell's like, do you don't think he was joking or anything? She's like, no, I don't think so. Like, I think he was for real. And so Mel says something about, women, we want to believe. We don't always, something about hearing what we believe or something like that. I don't know. But basically, Letitia gonna confront Marcel about this. So then somewhere else, I guess in the backyard or somewhere else, we still see the men playing dominoes, I believe. And so Marcel, he just going through it, and Martell and Maurice are making fun of him, like, oh, you're going to be okay. And so Marcel's like, okay, what advice do y'all have for me then? So Chris Fletcher was like, well, I don't understand why you made it such a big deal. She's not pregnant. She's never given you reason to cheat on her. So, I don't think you should make it as big as a deal as you're making it, which he shouldn't. And so Marcel is like, well, it's more of a chance of probability that she would have cheated than the vasectomy not working. And so Martell's over there co-signing because he just got to have the narrative of the woman cheating, right? And so Marcel then does this dumb analogy about an STD, telling me if I came to your house and I said, oh, it's possible that I might have an STD, and I took a test and it was negative. Okay, well, what were you doing that you wanted to take the test anyway? And so Maurice said, okay, but she's going off of how she was feeling. Like, you know, when she felt that before, she was pregnant. So she was going off of a possibility. I don't think, you know, she was going off of, you know, the probability. I was like, oh my God, y'all is killing me with this man explaining stuff. So anyway, Martell gonna get in his confessional saying that, you know, Tisha, you know, she went to take a pregnancy test and, you know, came back negative, but, you know, why would she take the test? So we would never know. She cheated. We just would never know. He's like, women, they so good. Martell, please stop. Please stop. You want to say all the women cheated because you want to say that male cheated on you. Please stop. Just stop it. So Martell's irritating me this whole episode. So anywho, Maurice is saying, like, you know, you need to Chris is saying, like, you need to trust your wife. Maurice is kind of playing both sides, and Martell is on Marcel's side. Okay, so then we get back in the room, and Letitia and Marcel come back in the room, right? And Marcel's had to lay down, but I guess he rolled his eyes at Letitia. Now, I didn't see if he rolled his eyes or not, but Letitia's like, what's wrong with you? You just rolled your eyes at me. He's like, I didn't roll my eyes at you. She's like, yes, you did. You just rolled your eyes at me. And so then she was like, no, we need to talk. We're not going to bed angry. We need to talk about what's going on. And so then Marcel's thing is like, I'm confused. I don't understand why I'm in the wrong because you said you took a pregnancy test and I got a vasectomy. And I'm thinking, like, you could have been doing something. How does that make me in the wrong? And so Letitia's like, it makes you in the wrong because all these years I haven't given you any reason to doubt me. I never did anything else. So why would you think I was cheating on you, right? And so he was like, oh, this is gaslighting. You're gaslighting me. No, you're gaslighting me. And she's like, no, I'm not gaslighting you. And then she's like, you know, I've believed you through everything, all the allegations. Like, all these 5 years I've trusted in you. And you're the one time, you know, I've had your back. And the one time you have to stand up for me and have my back, you don't have my back. And she's like, I'm really looking at things differently now. Like, now I'm like, you know, I'm taking it back. I'm like, do I need to, like, you know, see things in a different way now? Girl, yes, you do. And so he was like, no, like, yeah, you need to see things differently, I guess. And so then he's kind of getting a smart mouth. She's like, oh, so now you're going to be smarty pants. You're going to be smarty pants. And then she's like, do you know, you're going to sit up here and think I would cheat on you? Do you know who I am? Do you know who the F I am? Do you know who I am? And so she's like, oh, you must now know who I am. Like, she's kind of getting into Marcel a little bit. I was like, you better go off, Tisha. And so Maurice is creeping around the house all night. So he said he was trying to go to the pool so he could hear the commotion inside. And he's kind of worried about what's going on behind the door because I guess you can hear all the arguing from the outside. So Tisha and Marcel going back and forth. She was like, you know what? You're going to be sleeping alone tonight. I'm not sleeping here with you. You enjoy the rest of your trip. Like, nah, she ain't putting up with him basically thinking that she's cheating, right? Which I don't blame her. And at the end of the day, when it comes to this stupid storyline, first of all, y'all going to stop pimping out y'all marriage for this stupid show. Secondly, I doubt Tisha would have cheated on Marcel. Okay, I really, really doubt it. You know, if that's true, same thing. We would have got the receipts, just like we would have got the true receipts if Marcel has really cheated on Letitia. We've only gotten allegations. So, yeah, Marcel, if you know, maybe now you know how Tisha will feel. Okay, so I really don't feel bad for you. Yeah, I can understand why he might, you know, think some type of way, like, okay, I got a vasectomy, so why would she even think to take a pregnancy test? So Tisha storms out the room, and Maurice had knocked on the door by this time. And so she's out there talking to Maurice, and Maurice is like, Tisha, like, I can really understand how you feel, both perspectives, but you got to see this. And so then Marcel storms out the room. He's like, I don't need this. No, we not about to do this. I don't need this, Maurice. So then Tisha and Maurice is looking at him like, what are you doing? And they were like, no, we trying to have a conversation. Like, you need to go. So then Marcel left. I like how he tried to shut her down from talking to his brother though. I thought that was real funny, Marcel. Please go sit down, sir. So, anywho, Maurice is explaining, like, you got to see it from his side. Let me back up a minute, because Marcel also said, you know, you have to know that I am not, I'm not an emotionally intelligent guy that would think, oh, maybe my vasectomy didn't take. I'm going to think that maybe he cheated on me. And I was like, okay, so Marcel knows that he's an a-hole to his wife, basically. Okay. So anywho, back to the conversation with Tisha and Maurice. So Maurice is basically explaining that he could see both sides, and he could see that she was thinking, it's a possibility. He said, I asked him last time, she said she's having these feelings and emotions. Was she pregnant? He said, yes. She's like, exactly. She's like, I took the pregnancy test because the way I was feeling. She's like, and now I can rule that out. Made an appointment with my doctor, and I'm going to get some blood work done to see what else is wrong. Okay, makes sense. As a woman, I can see why Tisha would think, oh my gosh, am I pregnant though? Because if she's feeling these same symptoms, how she felt when she was pregnant, she's not thinking, in her mind, she said, she just honestly wasn't thinking about, oh, he had a vasectomy, so I couldn't be pregnant. She just really thought, because I'm feeling this way, I must be pregnant. And as a woman, I can totally understand that too. And I do think it's foul for Marsau to just assume she was cheating and not see her side of it, that she was feeling, sick and in the same way she felt when she was pregnant. So that's why her mind just went to pregnancy test. She wasn't thinking about, oh, he had a vasectomy and all that. Now, because she had stopped and thought about it a little bit more, yeah, are we just doing this for the TV show? Yeah, but we gonna play along. So anyway, Maurice says he sees that side of it. He's like, but you also got to see his side because he had a vasectomy and why he would think that. She's like, no, I understand that too. She said, I'm just mad that, he's accusing me. So she was telling him enjoy his trip, and he's like, no, we're gonna work it out. Okay, so then Maurice, I guess, is still up. He said it was like 2 or 3 in the morning. He up looking for a snack. And so he hears some commotion once again. So it's Martell. He done brought a lady friend down to the house. And so he's like, I could, imagine what they doing, I guess. So Martell said in his confessional, yeah, he saw Maurice sneaking around the house like a damn kid in a candy store. He's like, yeah, I brought a lady friend to the house. I'm an adult. Like, so what? And my thing is, yeah, you're an adult. You can be with whoever you want to be with. Now, Martell, you and Mel are divorced, or you're getting a divorce. Now, I don't know if their divorce is final. I don't know what they got going on. Anywho, however, my issue with that is why you didn't go to the young lady's house, number one. Number two, that's the Fletcher's Airbnb that they didn't invited you to, and for you to just bring somebody without like asking for permission or anything like that, when there are both men and women in the house and your ex is in the house, I do think it's foul. Like, because it wasn't your house and it wasn't your vacation per se. You were invited there. So then you're going to sneak somebody in there. I don't like that. But y'all let me know what y'all think in the comments. Do you think Martell was wrong to bring the girl to the house? Let me know. So then I believe we get to the next morning and we see Martell goes to check on Marcel in his room. Marcel was looking at something on his phone, and Martel's like, Marcel needs a friend to check on him. Okay. So he's like, okay, what happened after last night? And he was like, oh, I can't tell you what me and her did. She slept in another room. And Martel was like, dang, it still went on like that? And he's like, yeah. And he's like, I'm not about to be the bad guy here when I'm not the one who took the pregnancy test. Like, I'm not going to do it. And so Martel's like, well, has she given you any reason to think like she could have cheated? Like she acting different or anything like that? And so Marcel was like, no, but like, you've been getting all these allegations thrown at you for 5 years. The girl saying, he's a dog. He's been cheating on you. So of course you're not going to be stupid. You're going to be thinking about that, right? And so Marcel's thing is he thinks it's a possibility that Tisha could have cheated on him because of all the allegations and rumors she's had thrown at her, and that guys are probably in her DMs saying like, oh girl, you don't deserve that, like, oh, I can show you better and all that. Now Martell's over there co-signing it, right? And my thing is Marcel's getting very much, you're guilty. If you're thinking Tisha could be cheating on you because there's allegations of you cheating on her, so now you think she would have turned around and cheated on you, it's giving very much you did cheat. Because if these are all allegations and you have not cheated on Tisha, which we don't have proof for, then you wouldn't be tripping. You would be like, I know me, I know my wife, I know we not cheating on each other. We don't get down like that, and the world could think what they want to think. Is what I would think. But I don't know. Y'all let me know what y'all think in the comments. So Martell is like, I don't know. Tisha, she done lost her weight. She looking good now. I don't know. So she got a new body. So then in the confessional, Martell gonna say, Letitia, she got a new body, she outside more, she outgoing. And why production putting up little stickers of Tisha, right? He's like, she dressed a little more skimpy now. She's showing a little more off. He's like, I don't know, he might want to put her back in the house. He better watch out. I'm like, put her back in the house? What? Like a woman can't be outside? Like she can't be dressing how she want to dress? Excuse me, sir? Please be quiet. So Martell's like, oh, did you check her DMs? She got DMs? So Marcel has not checked her DMs. And so then, now they're flashing back and forth between this conversation and the conversation that Letitia had with Kimmy. We'll get to that next. So Martell's like, okay, well, we got this trip planned. Are you going to be able to enjoy the rest of the trip? You're going to apologize and say, baby, I'm sorry. I shouldn't accuse you of cheating and all that. And so he was like, no, I'm not about to apologize for this. Like, nah. He's like, heck no. He's like, we could be good, enjoy the rest of the trip. We won't mess it up for everybody. But no, he ain't apologizing, he said. Now, back over there with Kimmy and Letitia, they are somewhere in the house. They're getting their glam done. So we actually see them getting their hair and makeup done, I guess, for the day, which is something we never see on this show. So I was like, oh, this is very interesting, because they never really show the girls getting the glam, right? Like we see that on the Real Housewives when they're on the trips and we see people doing their glam for whatever, but we don't see that on this show. So I thought, oh, that was very interesting. Okay, so anyway, Kimmy asked, how did everything go after last night? And so Tisha was like, yeah, girl, we still rehashed it. Kimmy was like, oh, I thought, everything was good after dinner. Tisha's like, no. And so Kimmy's like, I guess both sets of Scots will be in the hot seats this weekend. And so Tisha's just basically telling her how the conversation went with Marsau and how she slept in another room. And she's like, yeah, like, I don't understand why he wouldn't trust you, girl. But at the same time, like, you have to understand, for a man, like, they don't handle cheating well. And you have to understand why he would think that. And Tisha's like, yeah, I understand. And he said, she was saying how, men and women handle cheating differently. I don't know, Kimmy was doing a little bit too much. I don't want to say she was caping for Marsau, but I don't know. Something about the way what she was saying, I wasn't fully feeling it. But I get what she was trying to say. Like, you have to understand his side of it too. However, Tisha is not going to cheat on Marsau. And when Marsau was talking to the men, I forgot to mention, he was like, oh, it's just hard because, you think everything is going good in your relationship. And now you got to think about this. And now I'll be laying in bed like, oh, did she really love me all this time? I was like, Marsau, you are not sitting in bed wondering if Letitia loves you because of this. Like, I can't even imagine you doing that. Like, please stop with the dramatics. And he said he would rather not know if Tisha was cheating on him. He wanted to live in blissful ignorance, which is funny because that's what people say Letitia is doing, right? So I guess if they want to cheat on each other in peace and they don't want to be disturbed, okay, he'd rather not know. If Tisha's cheating, please don't let Marsau know, okay? He can't take it. So, and I do agree with Kimmy what she was saying with Letitia, though, that men cannot handle women cheating on them. I'm sorry, men cannot. Women will put up with cheating way before a man does. It is what it is. But y'all let me know what y'all think about that in the comments, though. I'm really interested to hear different perspectives on that. So like I said, Kimmy was talking to Letitia about it, and she's saying, how's the rest of the trip going to go? And Letitia said, she was upset. She gonna be good with him, but she get to drinking her tequila, then she can't make no promises, okay? So then I believe we get to the final scene with the Fletchers, right? Miss Nell had on her little outfit with her stomach out. I said, this is not the first Miss Nell we met. It is not. So now Chris Fletcher had on a white tank top and some black sweats and his arms was out. I was like, oh, Chris Fletcher is looking good. I'm so sorry, Miss Nell. I'm so sorry. But he was looking good in that tank top and his arms were showing. He's very much giving zaddy. Okay, he's giving zaddy. Go ahead, Miss Nell. So anywho, I don't want your man, girl. I'm just saying he looked good. So, they're preparing for the game. They trying to get some team building things done, trying to get the group together. She trying to count out who all in the group. She gonna make a point to say Melody Rogers and Martell Holt. Oh my gosh, exhausting. So anywho, she's like, oh yeah, I got something to tell you. So Keke called me, right? And she's in Houston. And so they play a scene where Keke had called Miss Nell, and she said she want to come down to the trip. Miss Nell's like, girl, I don't think that's going to be a good idea because, Tisha and Marsau might not like that. She's like, okay, what are you going to do when you get here? Keke's like, well, the only thing I can do is just apologize. I said, Keke, you a lie. You not coming there to apologize. You a damn lie. I don't believe it. So anywho, I guess Ms. Nell said she could come. So she's letting Chris Fletcher know that Keke says she's going to come apologize. Chris said she can't do that in Alabama. That's what I said. She can't wait till Tisha come. You wanted to apologize all this time. How many episodes has it been since you threw that water or whatever drink it was in the Tisha's face till now? How many episodes have that been? You ain't apologized to this girl all this time, but all of a sudden down and we getting down in Houston, Keke wants to apologize. Please stop. Production said everybody going on this trip, okay? The only ones that got out of it was Tiffany and Lewis. Please stop. Anywho, Chris is like, I don't think this is a good idea. This is not going to work out. Like, already, we new to the group. That's going to set a bad tone. It's going to look bad for us. Because Chris is like, I want to be up here looking messy with you, right? Because Miss Nell is very messy. But we like her on the show. And so he was like, I don't agree with it. Like, she need to do that in Huntsville. And so he was like, I don't think it's going to work out. But we going to see. Okay, like, we going to see. And so Miss Nell said she was being a softie. She let Keke come. She's upset now because Chris is not supporting her in this decision. And then she's like, okay, whatever. Like, you know, she was getting mad. He said in his confessional that he gonna support her. But, and Mr. Nell was like, well, we're the mentors of the group, so it should be okay. And like, girl, no. You were Mel and Martell's mentors, but you wasn't the whole group's mentors. And I'm wondering, are they trying to make Chris and Nell like the new anchors of the show because Mel and Martell are no longer a couple? So I wonder, are they trying to make them like the main couple now? Or I know people are thinking maybe they're making Letitia and Marsau the main couple now. I don't know. Y'all let me know what y'all think of that. Or is there going to be a main couple now? I don't know. So anywho, Chris then tells Miss Nell about how Martell, oh yeah, let me just let you know right now that Martell had a lady friend at the house last night. And she's like, what? Like, that's so disrespectful. Like, why would you do that? And so Chris was tripping on it. She's like, you think that was okay? You think that's okay? She's like, oh, you got your own stuff to handle. You can take care of yours. I'm going to take care of mine. And so he's like, I don't see what the big deal was. He's an adult. And she was like, okay, but his ex is in the house. Mel's in the house. Like, that's disrespectful. Like, there's a certain level of respect. And he was like, okay, but he's a grown adult. He was like, okay, we wouldn't be saying nothing if Mel had somebody at the house eat too. And so now I get Chris's point as well. Like, because if Mel brought a man to the house, nobody would trip as hard as Martell bringing a woman to the house. I agree with that. And Martell's grown. He could date whoever he wants to date. My disrespecting, yeah, Mel being in the house, that's disrespectful to her. But Mel ain't checking for Martell. So I feel like it's more so disrespectful to the Fletchers because he didn't get permission, or we don't know if he got permission from them to even have a friend over and be doing all that and disrespecting everyone else in the house. So I can see the disrespect side of it as well, is what I'm saying. So anywho, Nell didn't agree with that. She was like, you know, me and you, we wouldn't have been doing that either. So no. So anywho, it was a to be continued. Next week we see Miss Keke gonna come on down to the Houston trip, and Ms. Nell tried to dismiss her, but she said she ain't going because we've seen her in the rest of the scenes. In my opinion, Keke could have stayed down in Huntsville. She don't need to be here on this Houston trip. But let me know if y'all want to see Keke in Houston. Well, she gonna be there anyway. Anyway, y'all, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and share. And I'll talk to y'all again soon. Bye.